Now, remember we had a USP that we were going to use, and basically it included a digital marketing order. It included the app that will help you know, right, when you're smart or not for digital marketing. It had vitamins, and it had some nutrients to stimulate brain, more or less, right? We had that whole USP built out, so we know what that is. So this is our messaging. So we have our messaging already done, and we have Jane already picked out, our persona. We know that Jane's on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Okay, so now we want to sort of put together a calendar of when are we going to approach Jane during these social media times. So obviously we want to put the days of the week here. So if we do Monday through Sunday, we have the days of the week, right? Okay. So on Monday, do we want to send a message to Jane on Monday? And if so, what platform do we use?
LinkedIn.
Right, well, let's use LinkedIn, right? That makes sense. Because maybe she's hurrying to go to work or do her thing, and maybe she's not checking Instagram or Facebook, at least not in the morning. If she works 9 to 7 or something like that, right? So we want to do LinkedIn. So LinkedIn might be where we want to send a communication. I think maybe Facebook or Instagram might be good during the day too, because she's probably checking that during lunch or maybe after she gets home, right? So that would be checked there. Maybe LinkedIn would be in the morning. Let's say we do LinkedIn around 8 or 7 in the morning because she starts at 9, so 8 a.m. on LinkedIn. And then we do Instagram and Facebook at lunchtime, maybe 12 to 2. Let's say, or we could do it after hours. We're not doing Pinterest on Monday because that's something she looks at when she's sitting looking at TV on Saturday or something like that, right? So we know that. So we'll put Pinterest on Saturday. We'll do it 11 a.m. maybe, and we'll even do it on Sunday. On Sunday we'll do it a little later. We'll do it like 3 p.m. let's say, okay, for Pinterest. Now, all these times that we're putting out here is based on research. We can go back and research when the best time to post are. There's general data out there, and then if we focus in on our competition, let's say we know what competitor 1 is, we know what competitor 2, we know what competitor 3 is, there's 3 competitors, we could take a look at the competitors' LinkedIn page, LinkedIn posts. We could take a look at their IG posts, their Pinterest posts, if they have a Pinterest account, maybe a TikTok account. We can look at their Facebook posts, and we can see what times they're posting. Now, if they're going after the same market and they're posting during a period of time, it probably is the same time that we should post, right? Or maybe just before or just after. Now, the only way to know that for sure is the start. Because if we get the data back that tells us our engagement is not high during that particular time, we might want to try it a little differently and move it. So maybe LinkedIn, it's probably 4 p.m. because maybe our target audience is looking at things as they're getting ready to leave work, not before they start work. So that has to be changed. And you could change all this. You should look at it and change it as you evolve, as you get better. Okay, so then let's say we do Tuesday. On Tuesday, where do we want to post? Do we want to post on LinkedIn again? Probably not. Maybe they're not looking on Tuesday. Do we want to do IG and Facebook? I would say yes, maybe on Tuesday. I'm not sure if that makes sense. What about Wednesday? Where do we want to post on Wednesday?
You can do LinkedIn again.
Maybe LinkedIn again? Okay, let's go out of here. Let's do LinkedIn on Wednesday, right? Midweek. Although you have to, and there's no right or wrong here. You have to find out what they're looking at. I don't know if I want to post again on Instagram and Facebook during the week. Maybe Thursday I want to do Instagram and Facebook again, and definitely Friday I want to do that again. And then possibly, well, not Pinterest. So this is sort of how it works out. Now, there's a discussion that interests me. How many times do you post a day, and how many days per week do you post? I don't like to get hit up with a lot of posts every day, and I like to stay engaged with who I'm following. So if they post to me every day, that's okay, but I prefer to see a post every couple of days rather than every day. And I think we're seeing that because we get fatigued a little bit, and we want them to be in mind of what we're trying to do. So from my opinion, rather than post to every channel for every day, I want to figure out a content calendar that makes sense. Maybe it's every 2 days, maybe it's every 3 days. I don't think you get better engagement, at least it depends on the data you're seeing. I don't know if you get better engagement by posting every day, and I don't know if you get better engagement by posting 3 times every day. So it could be complicated. So, all right, so this is basically it. We're also posting on Instagram and Facebook on the weekends, right? Okay, so now we sort of have a layout on what we want to do. So let's just look at this. Let's just count through it, and then let's say, and let's do LinkedIn maybe on Friday too, because we're doing it 3 days. So we have 1, 2, 3 for LinkedIn. We have nearly every day for Instagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have nearly every day for Facebook, 6, and we have 2 for Pinterest. So add them up, 3, 9, 15, 17. So we have a total of 17 posts we need to make, okay? 17 posts we need to make. If we multiply that by 4 times, because we're doing it every week, that's going to be what? 68 posts a month. And then if we multiply that out by 12, it's going to be over 800 posts a year. If it's, let's say it's 800 posts a year, it's going to take you an average of 15 minutes to make a post. Unless you're doing videos, it will take you longer to do videos. So let's say it takes you an average of 15 minutes. So what is that here? That's an hour would be 800 hours. So this would be 200 hours of work. Divide that by an average 40-hour work week. So it'll take you 5 weeks straight to do all these posts. It's a lot of work, a lot of posting. That's why content is very important, but it's very time consuming, right? But remember, content equals value, because that's the only thing that will help us get in front of our consumer. Value equals interest. And the more interest that you have, the more conversions you'll be able to get. So content is the tool that we need to use to get in front of our consumer. Okay, so this is why Jane needs our digital marketing water, because she's got a lot of work to do, let's say. Now this is our content calendar. So on top of the content calendar, we also have to do some ads, right? So let's erase the posting for a second. Well, you know what? Let me strike that. So if this is our content calendar, we have to create messages first, right? The messages have to go to each content. So we have the persona, we have some of our messages. So what do we create to put on LinkedIn? Well, we may want to build some type of business story that could show how someone could improve their digital marketing by being able to think clearly. And the digital marketing water could help you think more clearly because it's vitamin infused. You can't make all these claims. You got to be careful how you make claims. You can't say if you drink digital marketing water, you have a stronger brain or something like that. So you got to figure out what the legal claims are. But maybe you talk about the fact that a lot of people don't have the time to learn digital marketing, so they look for other things to keep their body healthy so they can think clearly. And that's what the digital marketing water could do. It's a good supplement to your day, right? Not a drug, but a good supplement. And you have to put an FDA statement and things like that. So maybe we do case studies or stories about businesses that are doing great things for digital marketing. We keep targeted because we want to keep Jane interested. Remember, she's a digital marketer that wants to learn more things, so maybe we'll put some kind of educational piece to it and talk a little bit. We're not selling anything. You can't sell anything on LinkedIn.
It's more informational.
More informational and educational, right? And then for IG, maybe we could do stories, maybe we could do images, maybe we could do videos, and it's all tied to someone like Jane, who is in the field and who does marketing and is looking for good tools and things of that nature. Same thing with Facebook, we could tie that together too. Now here we can sell, so we can actually do a Facebook or Instagram shop and send them to our website if we wanted to, because we're only selling on the website, and we can move them there. And for Pinterest, maybe we do something like what a great digital marketing campaign looks like, because that's more photo generated, more better looking type images that we can put there like that. So you see, you have different types of content for each channel, social media channel. All of it has to be focused around the USP and what the product has to say. All of it has to be targeted to Jane. Now, if you remember, we had another female persona, and that was the non-athletic persona. So we have to think about that. If we create athletic type content for Jane, that's good because it'll attract her. It'll say, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. This is closely related. Then we need to create different content for the non-athletic Jane, okay? Well, let's call her Josephine. So Josephine is non-athletic, so we have to...
is more age.
Right, maybe a little older, or maybe a little younger.
I want to take care of her health.
Yeah, but wants to be a little more healthy. Exactly. So now we have to create a different message for her and post it to those channels. At times we may find the same message for both. That'll be fine. Sometimes we want to personalize the messaging. And then we have the complete opposite. If you remember, we had two other personas which were male that were broken down the same way. So what we're showing for Jane and Josephine are completely different for the males, maybe, right? Or we could figure out how to market to both of them. All right, so that's the content and the content calendar. You could do all of this in an Excel sheet, in a calendar, on a PowerPoint. There's a lot of ways to keep track on this. What I would suggest, if you lay this out, you measure your engagement. If you're looking at what they're doing on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, measure the engagement to see if it makes sense. That's probably the best way to do it. And you could always change it. Always change it too. That's important. Okay, so now we have the next stage of getting our message out. So remember, there's 3 stages of getting content out. There's the organic stuff. This is all the content that we put out there. There is the referral content. That's where our water becomes almost viral and other digital marketers are talking about it. We're getting on blogs, we're getting, on influencers are picking it up on TikTok, the news is picking it up. It's Professor Ken's digital marketing water is the best water for digital marketers, and even small business owners, you know, the small business owner presses are picking it up. So we're gaining a lot of attention. That's the referral traffic. And then the last part of getting that content, getting that value out there would be your paid advertising. So a good campaign has to have a combination of those three. It takes a little more time to get the referral traffic because you have to build up a brand first that people can follow. But the organic stuff, we just decided how we're going to make the content now, and now we have to talk about the ads. Now the ads and the ad spend we use will be determined on our budget. So there's two ways to come up with a budget. The first way is to say, I'm going to spend X on marketing. $1, $1,000, $100,000, because you have zero sales right now. The only way to get sales is to do it online. Now you can spend no money and do it all through social media, which is a lot of companies have started that way, so you can start that. But then eventually at some point in time you do have to start advertising so people get to know your brand better. So let's say we did that. Let's say we started at social media, we're growing, we have thousands of followers, we're selling bottles of water, but now we have some revenue, so we have to create an advertising campaign because we want to spread our messaging. That's the best way to do that. So let's say we want to spend $10,000, right? That's our budget. We want to spend $10,000. And $10,000 could be a percentage of our total revenue. Let's say so far we sold 100,000, so we want to take 10% of that and put that into ads, and that's $10,000. And we're hoping those ads will generate what we call a 5x return, and that would be, it'll generate maybe $50,000 of revenue, right? That's sort of what we want to do. From here, we have to think about the cost of acquisition, and we have to think about the cost per click, because that's what we're paying for, and we have to do those calculations there. If it costs us $10,000 and each bottle is, let's say each pack is 25, so that means we sold about 2,000 bottles, about 2,000 packs, right? 2,000 times 25 is the $50,000 revenue. So we sold 2,000 packs. We spent $10,000 to do that. And if we're making 60% on that, so let's call that 5,000, 5 times 6, we're making $30,000 on that, right? Let me explain that math. We sold $50,000 worth of bottled water. We make 60% of that. That's our profit. So that means our profit here is $30,000. Okay? But now we take that $10,000 that we spent. So at the end of the day, our profit is $20,000, more or less. So we just want to know and make sure that we're making money on the ad that we spend. You could do some math like that. The other thing you want to do is figure out what your cost per acquisition is. So in this case, we've gotten 2,000 customers and we spent $10,000. So we take that $10,000, divide it by 2,000. So 10,000 divided by 2,000, that's how many customers we got, and that's $5, right?
This is the cost.
Cost of acquisition.
Okay.
Cost of acquisition means what did it cost us to acquire that customer? So if we just look at this sales example, it cost us $5 to acquire that customer. So if we sell an average product for $25 and it cost us about $10 to make, and then it costs us $5 to get them, we're still making $10 for that customer. And then the next time we sell them, we're going to get rid of this $5 and we'll make that $15 because they're going to buy it again and again and again, right? Okay, so that's acquisition. So now we want to spend $10,000 in advertising. How do we break that up in our schedule? We know we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Oh yeah, then we have to do Google Ads, right? So let's add Google Ads here like that. So how do we break up this $10,000? We have 5 platforms that we want to add on. Simple math, let's just keep it simple. Let's say we do $2,000 each. Okay? So we do $2,000 a piece in each one of the social channels. Just a simple way of breaking it out. And rather than think about the days of the week, in here I want to do months, just to give it a breakdown. So let's do months here. So let's do January, February, March, April, May, right? June, let's keep going. July, August, September, October, okay, November, and December. All right, so we've got all the 12 months here just like that. So to get the average acquisition for the industry, you need to do some research. If you do your competitive research, you should be able to pick that up. There's also general research that you can do. So if you're in the furniture industry, if you Google what is the average acquisition cost in the furniture industry, you might get some type of information there. It may not apply to your exact furniture, but it'll give you an idea, okay? So there is data out there that you can get to help you with acquisition cost averages. Okay, that's basically how you do it. Let's get back to our advertising calendar. So now what we did is we have $10,000 to spend, and we have 5 social media platforms. Right now we don't know what results we're getting from each platform because we haven't advertised before. So we start off very simple. If we got $2,000 averaged out per channel, we start off very simple. Let's just say we spend $100 in each channel, okay? Just to test it out. We're gonna test some messaging, we're gonna test some content, we're gonna see what type of results we get. We wait 4 weeks, maybe we wait 6 weeks, and we realize that the ads didn't do good in Pinterest, and they didn't do good on LinkedIn. We got better results on Google, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, month 1, I can see that as we get into February, but I probably don't want to change anything yet. I want to go 1 more month to get a little more data. I think pulling the trigger on changing things in 1 month is not going to help. We should go at least 2 months out. So now we go 2 months out, we spend the same, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, and we get the same results. Pinterest and LinkedIn does not work for us. So now we've done it 2 months, we've changed up the ad maybe, because that's the first thing you want to do if you're not getting good results. You want to change the content because maybe the content, the messaging is not right. We've done that. You have some options now. You could do it again with different content, or you can just say, you know what, LinkedIn and Pinterest, at least for us right now, we shouldn't spend any money on ads. We can keep posting for free, that's fine, but we're not going to spend money on ads. So now we're going to get rid of this $100, and we're going to get rid of maybe this $2,000. So now you take that money and you move it into the things that are working. So let's say our Google Ads, if we look at the three that are working, Google Ads, Instagram, and Facebook, we're getting good clicks, we're getting good conversions, we're getting good traction, and we're seeing this from all the analytics we're looking at. So now I'm going to double what I spend here. I'll take $200 and spend it on Google. I'll take $200 and spend it on Instagram. And I'm going to keep Facebook because we only picked up 200. I'm going to pick Facebook and do that $100. We do that again maybe another month. And again, we see now after those 2 times, we say, well, you know what? Facebook is not driving a lot of business after all out of these 3. So I'm going to now either reduce or get rid of Facebook. So I'm going to take that $200 and I'll put it now strictly in Google Ads and Instagram. Or maybe Instagram is doing really well and I'll put $400 here and keep this as $200, right? And that's sort of how I would do that. And I would keep measuring. And maybe sometime in June and July, right? That's the summertime, so things are going to get heated up. Maybe we can sell more water. Maybe I come back here again in July and I go back again and I do 100 everywhere again, okay? Just to see if we could drive business. Because now I want to test it now in the summer. And that's the other thing you have to think about here for seasonality. You're obviously going to sell more water here in May to August, because that's the summer months, the spring summer months. So maybe you put more of your advertising in these months here. And then maybe you want to put more advertising in the months of November or December because of the holiday. Or maybe you want to put more advertising in the months of January because of the weight season. You know, people always want to lose weight in January, so maybe that's what you want to do there. So my point is this: you have to start up with an advertising plan in the beginning. But you don't have to keep advertising in places that are not generating revenue, that are not getting return on investment. So you have to look at this on a regular basis. And before you move the dollars around, what I would do is change some of the content first, change the messaging. Maybe you can change the call to action. Remember, every ad has to have a call to action. Buy Professor Ken's Digital Marketing Water now, that type of thing. Special sale on Professor Ken's Digital Marketing Water now. Want to get your digital marketing right? Buy Professor Ken's Digital Marketing Water today. Something like that, right? So you could change your messaging around before you move the dollars around. That's probably your first course of action. And then your second course of action would be, okay, I tried Pinterest for 2 months. I'm getting 0 results. I'm going to either get rid of that dollar spend, so now you're going to eliminate $2,000. You save $2,000 that you had planned. My suggestion would be, let's move that money into one of the other successful channels that you're getting ads on, if you could still afford it, if it's still part of the plan. And you're looking at engagement, you're looking at conversions, you're looking at cost of acquisition, you're looking at the cost per click. Remember, the cost per click is that every time someone clicks on the ad, then you pay for that ad in most cases, all right? So now, what have we done here? We've identified our product. We understood the 4 P's. Remember, the 4 P's drive everything: product, place, promotion, and price. We defined our pricing because we looked at the competition, so we know we're going to price this at about $6 and put it on sale for $15. We looked at our competition. We looked at what the customer would be able to pay. We created our persona, which is Jane, so we have Jane's background here. And then we created, based on that product information, we created our USP, which is this here. And then once we created our USP, we created content and messaging based on the channels that we know Jane is going to be in. We decided we're going to put out content 3 times a week or vary the content delivery. All right, so after we do the content, we have the content calendar. Now we have to spend money. Remember, it's a combination of organic content, it's a combination of referral content, it's a combination of paid content. You need all 3 to be successful. And now whatever money we can spend, we defined where we're going to spend the money, and we break it down by month. We could break it down by week, by day, however you want to break it down. You measure the results, and then you move your dollars around based on the results you're seeing. If you don't see results, move the money, because putting it in the same place, if you're not getting results, wouldn't benefit you. And then maybe you give it a rest and come back at a peak season. Like if you're selling a product that everybody would buy as a Christmas gift, and you try to sell it in the January, February, March, you spend money, it doesn't go anywhere. Save that money, come back and start advertising at the end of the year for Christmas, for the holidays, and you'll probably get better conversion there. So seasonality and holidays play a big role into your advertising too. The key thing about spending money on advertising is you have to pick the right channel to sell an ad in, and you have to make sure your messaging is right. And then once you get it out there, you have to measure your results. And if the results tell you it's not working, you need to figure out where you can put your dollars that makes sense, right? Okay. So that's everything we covered. Really, if you do all that, you can get the product out into the market and be successful, right? Just remember that advertising is not, there's no magic to it. You have to, just like with all content, there's no magic to it. You have to keep doing it. And for those companies that don't spend money on ads and rely on just social media, you can grow your business like that. But at some point in time, your growth is going to flatten out, and when your growth flatten out, you have to do something different to accelerate it. And the only way to accelerate it is maybe do ads or figure out another way, another distribution channel to get the product out into the marketplace. That would be another way of doing that. Okay?